Lisa Feldman Barrett is a psychology professor at Northeastern University. In a recent piece for the New York Times entitled "When is Speech Violence?", she argues in defense of banning speeches by figures like Milo Yiannopoulos, calling him a provocateur and hate monger and saying there is, quote, nothing to be gained from debating him. But she doesn't stop there. She says her anti-speech posture is based in science and that scientifically speaking, some speech literally is as harmful as physical violence. Lisa Feldman Barrett joins us tonight. Professor, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me on your show.
So if certain speech is tantamount to violence, obviously we need to ban it. Violence is harmful to people. Who decides under your plan what speech is allowed and which is banned?
Debate opens minds, but hateful speech closes minds, so just don't invite those people. And the second point that I made...
Okay, wait, can we just do one?
No, let me finish, because it's really important. It's important to make the point, right? And okay. This kind of verbal aggression, if it goes on for long enough, is harmful to your nervous system. It makes people more likely to be sick.
I'm going to sneak a question here.
Yeah.
I got it. So obviously this is a pretext for censorship. My question remains the same, which is who decides what speech can be heard? You're arguing against allowing all speech to be heard because some of it you don't classify as debate, but instead as hate speech. My question is who gets to make that decision? It's a subjective decision. And who's empowered to make it? You?
Yeah. No, not at all.
No, what I'm saying is that if I take you out of one classification and move you into another, it's an effort to silence you. If I were to say your ideas are so stupid, hold on. If I were to say your ideas are so stupid they're not really ideas, therefore we don't have to listen to them or debate you, what I'm doing is trying to silence you. I'm trying to put you outside of the pale. And that's exactly what you're doing. You're making a case for censorship, as you know, but you're too disingenuous to admit it. But my question remains the same, which is who gets to make that determination? Who decides what's hate and what's debate? Who makes that call?
Insults to people isn't debate.
I'm soliciting an answer from you. I keep asking you the same question, which is, how do we decide? What are the standards? Who gets to make that call? What's legitimate and what's not? And you can't answer the question.
I can answer the question. It's just you keep clouding it with insults.
Come on, Professor, just give me a real answer.
Yeah, the real answer is a reasonable person, when a reasonable person is fearful for their own safety or the safety of someone else, that classifies as hateful speech.
How do you decide what a reasonable person is? Perhaps I feel intimidated. Hold on, maybe I feel intimidated by you right now. I think I'm a reasonable person. Should we, consign you to the hate speech bin? I mean, what does that even mean? These are totally subjective categories. That's why normal people, old-fashioned liberals, used to say, we let everybody talk, right? Remember that?
Yeah. So reasonable person is actually a concept in the U.S. law. It's a concept that's used by judges and lawyers and other legal actors to make legal decisions.
I got 30 seconds. Define what it means.
A reasonable person is the average person.
Oh, the average person. The average, as defined by what? What does that mean, the average person?
The point is...
But you're not, I still am confused by what you're saying. I mean, how do we know the average person? Who is the... You haven't thought through your argument. It seems to me what you're saying, with respect, is there are some views that I don't like. They're not real views. I don't have to take them seriously because I don't feel like engaging with them. So just, shut up. Because I'm asking you to define your terms, and you don't seem like you can.
I did define my terms.
Okay, so what is the average person?
It's a legal concept.
But which means what? You don't seem to understand what it means. How do you define it? I'm trying to get you to define a term that you introduced into the conversation. Reasonable person, average person. I'm asking you a simple question. What does that mean? You can't answer it. You're changing the subject. I'm asking you to define what you're talking about. I'm not one of the children sitting in your classes who nods in bovine agreement. I'm an adult who demands an adult answer, and you don't have one.
I gave you an answer. I absolutely gave you an answer.
Okay, well, I could ask you for the 5th time what that actually means, but you don't seem to have an answer.